Hey guys, what is up? Ioki, and today is going to be a coaching session, so not going to waste any of your time. Let's get right into it. Today we are looking at Valorant, who is a Gold 5 support main on EU West. So first thing, she's playing a Morgana game. I want to look at her runes. I would really recommend checking out Nimbus Cloak. I think it's an absolutely busted rune on Morgana because not only does it slow them down when you use the Soul Shackles, it also speeds you up, which allows you to get off the second proc of your ultimate, which is the stun. Which can definitely set up a further CC train, or let your team dogpile them, whatever you need to do. Everything else looks good. I would say if the stopwatch didn't get nerfed this exact patch, I would say look into stopwatch. Just make sure you're not too static on your runes. Make sure you're actually looking at your needs on a per game basis, whether you want to go boots or stopwatch. Now it does not activate until 10 minutes now, so stopwatch is a little iffy of a rune to take. I haven't quite gotten enough games on this patch to know if it's like a must-have. Previously, I was taking stopwatch every single game, so just make sure you're not locking in the same runes every single game without thinking of why, and that will help you out in the long run. But yeah, Nimbus Cloak, Nimbus Cloak, Nimbus Cloak. Swap out that mana flow for Nimbus Cloak for at least one game, see how it feels. So as we see, we're getting right into it. Valorant, Gold 5 Morgana, here we go. We're going to turn on Fog of War for only this team. I like your proactivity. I like that you're not wasting any time. I would have, when I stack in this bush, you want to drop the ward over here to make sure you're not getting invaded from this way, because you guys don't have any vision here. But this was some really good proactivity. You got a pick. Not sure you guys are going to be able to get him. Yep, you all went aggro flash for it, so that's perfectly fine. Good shit. You still got your flash. These two flashed. But yeah, when you stack in this bush, as you can see, proactivity is like an incredibly important skill to develop in League of Legends, especially solo queue. It's basically the most proactive players deserve the win more. Now, whether or not they get that win, comes down to solo queue shit. But proactivity, the most proactive players deserve the win more, and you're very proactive, and it paid off. So good shit. But when you invade, or when you stack for an invade, always ward behind you. So drop this ward right here if you're stacking in that bush. Because once again, we don't have any vision over here. You guys got the drop on Yi because he wasn't being careful. You're being equally as not careful by not putting the ward there. Because look, now you're face checking. What if they had stacked in this bush? Now you just died in as terrible of a way as Master Yi did. But it didn't. Didn't happen, so you're fine. Something I would also recommend is something called fake leashing. This is when you communicate with your ADC and be like, we're going to sit here for about 20 extra seconds and maybe even use a spell so that you're missing some mana. And what that does is when you come to lane, your laners are going to be like, oh, they leashed for blue. You guys didn't, but it can. They're going to communicate to their jungler that Rama started blue, and it's going to mess up their entire enemy junglers pathing. Because they're thinking at that point that Ramus is going to blue to red. They might go try to steal his red or kill him at red. Guess what? It's already gone because Ramus didn't actually start blue. So that's called fake leashing. It's something I would really look at doing. Okay, so this is a really weird lane. Not gonna lie. This is a Fizz ADC Yasuo support maybe? It looks like just a cheesy kill lane. Kalista mispositioned pretty hard there, but didn't cost you guys anything. I like the fact that you guys are punishing the fact that they are two melee champions. You want to be abusing the fact that you guys are two ranged champions versus a two melee matchup. Just abuse. Yup. Good stuff. Good aggressive play. Good abusing the fact that they have a stupid, wonky duo melee lane. Just pushing the lane in. Okay, so you got your W second, but you actually haven't used it yet. You're not really... Okay, this is bad, because now you're going to take turret aggro. So, getting the W is a strategic choice, and I agree with it, since you don't really need the black shield, since they don't have any really hard CC or anything available to them. You got the W, but you waited until you were completely under turret to use it. Bad, bad, bad. If you use the W somewhere around here, like pop the W and then instantly walk away, you can actually get all the benefits of the W. You can get the damage off, you can get the poke, you can, you know, proc your Scorch, you can get your Spell Thief stacks without taking this turret shot. So this was a really, really bad decision to be using the W when you're right here. It was just an unnecessary turret shot. Okay, you want to be very, very careful about cheese lanes like this, because once they're on top of you, it's very hard to get them off you. So at this point, honestly, somewhere around, at some point you should have realized Kallista's completely dead and just abandoned her. And I'll pinpoint the exact moment. Right here, Kallista's dead. Start moving away. You know, drop the Q, drop the W, do whatever you got to do, but don't go down with her because of her stupidity. There is absolutely nothing you can do for her. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to die with her. You're going to have to flash this third Q. I hope you flash it. Okay, he missed it. Good stuff. Okay, until you get your level 3, you really don't want to be tempting them to jump on you like that. Like I said, you need to abuse them at level 1 because they're duo melee, but they are still a Fizz and Yasuo. Like, they will shred your ADC if they get on top of them, so. And they'll shred you, honestly. They'll do the same thing. This is kind of a bad room. I'm not sure what you're doing here. You're walking through what is possibly a warded bush with possibly, you know, up to 3 people ready to pounce on you for it. You know that his red buff isn't here. There's no reason to go over and even ward this red buff. The jungler doesn't care about this red buff. He's already taken it. This is honestly just needless risk. There's no reason for you to be roaming this deep. You can't 1v1 the jungler. It doesn't really matter if you find him over here. You know, I'm all for warding, but I'm all for roaming, but do it smartly, safely, and efficiently. Okay, at this point, you want to be running this way to cut them off, because now they're in a pretty favorable 2v2, right? So you can assume that Yasuo and Fizz are going to be retreating. So if you came down this way, you probably, see, if you were right here instead of right here, that would be making a huge, huge difference in this, because you're just as useless as Rammus and Kalista at this point. Yep. You should have come down this way and cut them off. Okay, this Fizz is an idiot. But hey man, that's what solo queue is all about, is abusing the fact that everyone's kind of an idiot. But yeah man, I want to talk a little bit more about that, because I don't agree at all with the roam. Getting these wards was not worth the risk of running into Master Yi or getting collapsed on 1v3. But once you made the roam, you need to kind of make the most of it. You definitely should have came down here. So it's one of those, I don't agree with the call, but if you're going to do the call, do it correctly sort of things. So at this point, you're wanting to be you want to actually use your W here, shove the wave, be autoing these minions, push it to turret, and go back. You don't want to stay any longer. No, now is a really, really good time to be leaving. And I'm telling you guys are not respecting this Yasuo at all. Let's think about Yasuo and Fizz's kit. They both have ways to use your minion wave to get close to you, right? To go from here to on top of you in like in an instant. Fizz can use his Q and Yasuo can use his E, his dash, and these guys can jump on you pretty much whenever they want if you're standing right on top of your minion wave. Now if you're standing back or backing like I think you should be, that's not an issue. So yeah, abuse the weaknesses of their of this favorable matchup for you, the fact that they're both melee, but also respect the fact that they are two still, you know, ADC killing champions. But do you see the efficiency that you're missing out on here by not backing immediately? If you had pushed the turret and backed, I mean, you ended up backing anyways, but that's going to basically let this wave hit your turret, and you guys are going to miss all the CS. Whereas if you had immediately shoved it to turret and backed right snappy right away, you would be here to catch this wave, or you would at least be missing less of it. There's not really a real point in using your own blast cone like that. So basically this is a tool to let your jungler gank with. He's on the other side of the map, so it's not entirely super important here, but don't just like go on autopilot and hit the plant just because you can. Think about like why you're hitting it and what you're removing off the map for hitting it. Okay, bad roam. Bad roam. You're not really doing anything. You're not warding. You're not ganking the mid lane. You're leaving Kalista in a lane with the Fizz that is potentially about to hit level 6. This is a bad roam. All that did was lose you experience and endanger your ADC. That was good. That was good patience for you to wait for his jump. It just so happened that you missed it, which is fine. It happens. Alright. So now your role has shifted from the aggressor, poking them under their turret, to making sure Kalista doesn't get knocked up. So let's see the black shield. I would show a little more self-control with the black shield. Wait until you actually know that it's going to hit, because it's got such a long cooldown, and especially now that Riot has nerfed it on this patch, it's got a long cooldown and a high mana cost. So just wait until you know it's actually going to hit her. Wait as long as you can, basically, because yeah, now you don't have the black shield for moments where she actually needs it. That was a good binding, though. Good binding, man. Alright, quality turn, man. Quality turn. Oh my. Okay. All in all things considered, that wasn't terrible. But yeah, do you see, he ended up missing his third tornado, so you actually didn't need the black shield. Whereas if you were able to save it for when you know for a fact she's about to get fished, would have been a much better play. Good awareness. I thought good awareness. I think you should have came up here and helped collapse on this Malzahar, at least gotten his flash. You started moving towards it. I thought it was a moment of really good awareness on your part, but I don't think that you realized you guys had a pretty good opportunity to collapse there. If Ahri alt charms him, you've got Rammus there, you've got you there. Your black shield should be back up. That would have been a good 3-man collapse. So basically in that situation, you don't actually want to ever throw the Q. All the outplay potential is in his hand there. If he doesn't jump, just don't throw the Q. Just hold on to it. Because now look, now you've got an opportunity where you had a really easy Q, right? Like right here, you could be locking him down with it. And instead you're denied another kill because you don't want to just let him, like, you don't want to give him a reason to jump. Just keep autoing and hope that you bait out the jump here. So let's watch this. All you should be doing here is auto. Because 99% of the time, Fizz is just going to jump that. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, but you guys did lose more out of that because Ramos used his flash and your jungler's off the map now. So yeah, when all the outplay potential is in his court, like, don't try to force that. Now again, man, these are really, really risky roams. And as you climb, because I do think that you're a player that can climb. You're making some good plays. You seem pretty good mechanically. You seem to know the champion pretty well. You know the limitations. But as you climb, you're going to get punished for this type of just really risky roaming, and it's not going to be worth it, man. It's not going to be worth it. Because let's say Master Yi is in this bush. He alpha strikes your Q. You're dead. You have no tools. You have no flash. You don't have an ult. You don't have exhaust. You're just dead. And that's going to happen a lot more than you think. Like, as you get into higher elo, like, the junglers will be able to 1v1 you, and they will do it because there's nothing stopping them from doing so. Yep, gotta respect, man, gotta respect. Remember, play to the strengths of the matchup. Abuse the weaknesses and respect their strengths. Their weakness is that they're 2 melee champions. You've got that. You've got that advantage over them. You can just poke, 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 keep them under turret, keep them shoved in, things like that. The strength of their comp is that they can jump you using your minion wave. If you're this close to your minion wave, you're just asking to get jumped on. That was interesting. That honestly should have been a lot worse for you. But just because something turns out right doesn't mean that it was like a smart call. You know what I mean? Like, that was still you disrespecting the strengths of their comp. Strengths of their lane. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So now you know you need to break that that shield first. Break the shield. There you go. There you go. The longer you hold on to your... But this was perfect. This is super well executed. Here's the thing about Morgana. Everyone knows what she does, right? Her Q. She hits her Q and you're pretty much dead. You have to sit there for 4 seconds, take all kinds of free damage. The longer you hold on to your Q, the more desperately they'll try to dodge it. Watch this. Watch how many dodges this guy's tried to do. Look. He thinks they're going to shoot it there. He tries to dodge there. He thinks you're going to shoot it there. He tries to dodge there. If you just hold on to it, this guy will dodge himself to death. That was very, very well played. Okay, so now we got some BS happening over here. Okay, okay. Very, very late ulti there. So let's look at the opportunities you had to ult. At this point, if you walk towards them, they're tunnel zoning. They're tunnel visioning on this Ramos, right? If you walk towards them, you have a 3-man ulti. It slows them, it does damage to them, it scares them, it makes them panic. You walk towards them, you get a 3-man ulti there, you're gonna kill all 3 of them. Instead, you wait for Ramos to go down, you still haven't popped your ult. Pop your ult here, man. Don't use your ult as a last resort. Use your ult to turn the fight, man. Use your ult to engage. Pop it, dude. Walk right here and pop it. Look, you only got a 1-man ulti. And you ended up dying for it. You held onto your ult way, way, way too long. Don't be afraid to use that ult, bro. And remember what I said at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the VOD. Switch to Nimbus Cloak, you're going to see, like, so much more usefulness coming out of your ult. Look, he's dodging, he's dodging, he's dodging, he's dodging. Yep. It's okay. Okay, yep, okay. You got the wind wall out. Do the same thing to him. Auto, auto, auto. He's gonna keep trying to dodge. He's gonna keep trying to dodge. Good land, man. Good land. it was a good Q, but here's how I would have played it. I would have let him dodge himself to death just like the Malzahar was doing. Use people's expectations like that against them. You have a point and click CC. You can just wait until Rammus taunts him and then throw your CC on top of that just for a 100% secured hit. But you did hit it, so good shot. But you know Rammus's taunt isn't going to miss, so if you just wait for it. Okay, again, man, you're making these treks into the forest. These I can't stress enough. This is the worst thing that I see that you're doing. You are not ahead enough to be doing this type of stuff alone. This is the third trip out here, and you haven't been punished yet for it. But I'm telling you, man, you're gonna get punished for it. You cannot be going this deep into their jungle alone as a squishy champion. Good roam. This was a good roam. This was a good roam. You've got the wave pushed. You know you're not really even going to be tower diving because you can just not take the turret aggro. Oh, we did take turret aggro. You got to be careful about grabbing that turret aggro, man. You did the same thing in laning phase. If you use your W and you're in range of a turret, it's going to give you several turret shots. Oh, sorry, I went too fast. Let's watch that again. Okay, this is kind of greeting. We see Yasuo on the map, but we see no one else on the map. We don't know where their top laner is. I don't think you guys are really strong enough to be sieging for this tier 2. Your top laner clearly has no interest in coming. This is pretty greedy. I would be I also haven't been seeing you ping a lot. Don't be afraid to be that guy that just pings and is the, you know, a real leader on the team. But this is greeting. You guys got the tier 1. You should have been happy with that. You got tier 1 and a kill. Yeah, I don't think that you guys should be sieging this. And hopefully you guys get out without getting punished too bad, but this is what happens when you overstay. Yasuo's coming up to collapse. Holy moly. Yeah, she's dead. Oh, wow. She put up a good fight, though. But yeah, at that point, I would be trying to influence my team to get out. You know, ping danger. Ping, I don't want to be here. Throw some red pings. Throw some yellow pings. Whatever you got to do. So let's talk about your build, man. Ardent Censer is honestly not a very efficient item on Morgana. So whenever you heal or shield an ally, so basically you're getting one use out of that. It's your longest cooldown. It's your highest mana cost. That's not your highest. Your W is your highest mana cost, but a high mana cost due to the nerf this patch. And you only get to proc it every 16 seconds. I would not have gone Ardent Censer. Items that I like to build on Morgana are Zhonya's, Shurelya's, sometimes Redemption, but definitely not an Ardent Rush. Again, man. Okay, you got to start showing patience with these Qs. Pretty much everyone on their team, any of their high priority targets, Master Yi, Malzahar, Yasuo, and Fizz all have all have ways to either not be affected by the Q or to delete it somehow. So let's talk about those. Master Yi has Q, Malzahar has his spell shield, Yasuo has his wind wall, Fizz has his jump. You've got to be showing patience around these. You've got to be either baiting them out via mind games, go up like we've been talking about, auto, auto, auto. But you can't just be opening with a raw Q here. Because it's an easy, easy win wall. And especially now that you're this close, he has no reason to not jump on you. Good turn, good turn. Good turn. The only reason this is an even remotely good call is because Kalista is pretty good at securing objectives when she's got a ton of Rins on them, and you've got vision throughout the jungle. Otherwise, if you didn't have these wards here, I just want you to know this is a good call. But if you didn't have this vision here, it would not be a good call. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, see, we can see anyone that's gonna try to steal it coming from a mile away. Okay. So if you black shield the first part of the fish, it actually just doesn't connect to your ADC. And I like this proactivity. You've got the wards, you see everything coming. The second you hear him shoot that, you gotta be ready to react to it, man. Because one, your black shield is better at negating effects, such as the fish attaching and slowing Kalista, than it is damage. It really doesn't block a ton of damage. I mean, you saw there, the fish popped it entirely, and then some. So this was a good idea, just kind of poor execution. You weren't thoroughly prepared for it. Like, you caught the fish. It's kind of like you caught the fish, but then you didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, you caught Fizz out, but he just sharked. He sharked you. He sharked the ADC. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I'm telling you, dude, you gotta stop doing this. No one is even near you to be able to react. You gotta stop. You gotta stop walking out here. You're warding way too deep, way too many times alone. It's very, very risky, and it's gonna start You're gonna start getting punished for it as you climb up. Yep. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. Good stuff. Nice shot. Interesting. I actually don't ever say this, but I honestly think that you're roaming around alone too much. You can't really get a ton done by yourself, and you're spending the vast majority of this game by yourself. Doing these little excursions through their jungle. You just took a vacation to top for some reason. Whereas, like, if you were grouped with these guys, you'd be getting so much more done. Morgana's a champion that when played support, she doesn't have the raw stats to be able to like one-shot people at all. So there's no real point in like roaming around alone as much as you're doing. When you could be, with these guys, you could be in the bot lane pushing with Kalista. So I'm a player that really, really likes to roam. I think it's one of the best parts of playing support is the freedom to roam. But you've got to know when to kind of rein it in and stop roaming. And I think that's an issue you're having. See, you could have been there for her, man. You could have been there. You gotta know you gotta know when to stop roaming. Is the best piece of advice I can give you for this from watching this game. So here's something about the Morgana and Fizz matchup. It won't let you cast your ult if no one's in range. So for instance, when he jumps, you can't ult. So you basically have to wait for him to land, soak in all that damage, and then ult. And then, you know, pray that you're still alive by the time the second proc goes off. Where if you ult right now, even if he jumps, it's still going to go off. The Soul Shackles, it's going to start ticking down for that second proc where it stuns him. So if you ult right now, that's what you need to be doing. You know, because let's say if you open with ult, then it takes what 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So waiting 3 seconds, you can wait those 3 seconds. Then he can't jump. Then you land your Q, and you don't have the risk of missing it on the jump like this. You're waiting too long to jump. I'm seeing that as a recurring thing here, man. Sorry, you're waiting too long to ult. It happened up in the skirmish over here, and it happened again there. You're waiting way, way, way too long to ult. Alright, let's see what you do with this. Bro, I'm telling you. You need to group with your team. You're roaming way too much. You're roaming way, way, way too much. You're going to get to, you know, high gold, low plat, where the junglers are going to be smart and talented enough to just be like, why is there a Morgana in my jungle? I'm going to kill her. Like, it may look like it's a decent thing to do because you haven't been strictly punished for it directly in this game. Your teammates have been punished for it, but you yourself haven't been strictly punished for it. So it might be hard to see now, but I'm telling you, dude, if you continue climbing ELO, you will not get away with that level of roaming. Your roams need to be precise and brief, and they need to also serve a purpose. You guys are going to be pushing this. Got 10 seconds on Master G. So what I want to see out of this... Oh. Come on, man. Where's the reflexes at, bro? Got to be on that. You got to have your finger hovering over the black shield. This is what I'm talking about, though. This is what's going to happen every single time. If you weren't playing with the Callista, you're hella dead there, man. But that is what's going to happen 80% of the time when you do these needless roams into their jungle. It turned out there. It turned out fine there because you guys are ahead enough to not get punished and to turn it on Fizz, but I'm telling you, like, they're bad. So what I wanted to talk about before I saw you come down here and get caught by Fizz is that I wanted to see what you did earlier when you guys took the tier 1 and then overstayed for tier 2. You guys took the tier 2 and kind of overstayed again. And that's going to happen a lot, especially in your ELO where you're like, gold is kind of this ELO where everyone knows how to play the game, everyone knows the basics, and everyone's sort of starting to get good at it, but they don't necessarily know their limits, and they don't know how to like efficiently like push a lead. And what I mean by that is taking a turret and leaving. So if you begin grasping that concept in your ELO, like, you can become the leader on your team that says, okay, we got the turret, we need to leave now. You need to become the shot caller and the leader and like ping people off when you know that you're overstaying. But first, you need to learn that you're overstaying. But yeah, that's a really efficient way to get out of gold, is to become that shot caller that like actually knows your limits, that is okay with just taking the turret and not dying and overstaying, and, you know, subsequently convincing your team that we need to leave after the turret. Because you guys basically just put, what, 3 or 4 kills on them that were totally unnecessary. You guys already got what you came for. The turret, but you just overstayed. This is not super smart. Okay, you guys killed Master Yi. I would honestly be setting up a Baron off that. You guys have a really good lead. You need to start closing the game out. Face checking bushes over just going to Baron and making them fight an unfavorable 5v4 in their favor, in your guys' favor, is like a much better idea. But instead you came over here and checked this bush. It's probably going to turn out fine for you guys, I think. But if you guys had just gone over there and pressured the Baron, I mean, your whole team is in a pretty decent position to walk over there, right? And you've got, at the time of his death, I think his death timer was 40-something seconds. 40 seconds of a 4v5 with their team having no smite, that's a Baron. Especially with the Callista. Like, that was a really good Baron. But instead we're doing, you know, gold things. If you begin to grasp these concepts and you can become the leader in your games to like do these shot calls, to be the person that says we need to leave we got the turret, or be the person that calls, you know, we need to do the Baron, like, you're gonna fly through gold, man. Whereas, like, you guys are probably going to win this game, but if you got the Baron there, your chances skyrocketed. I definitely would have bought a control ward too, man. Dropping a control ward on the Baron is like the easiest way to apply pressure in a situation like that where your team knows you're winning, their team knows you're winning. Like, both teams should be eyeballing the Baron. You to do it and them to contest it. Putting a control ward over there basically just like it's the easiest way to apply pressure. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have a control ward plopped right here, they literally have to check it eventually, right? They have to at least walk over and ward it. And when you have catch champions like Morgana, Rammus, Ahri, Wukong, like, that could be a game ender. So the fact that you guys aren't playing around Baron at all is really, really bad. And it's a really easy fix too, right? Because I bet if someone on your team called Baron, the whole team would probably be on board with it. Like, this isn't like a super nail biter, mega close game. And to let the other team be the one that's potentially doing Baron, this is bad. You should have called Baron like 5 minutes ago. So instead of using your Q there, use your W. It's just as effective because, one, you're not looking to fight that person, right? You're looking to see if they're in the bush. Use your W, it'll proc your Spell Thieves. It'll proc your Airy. It'll proc everything. Like, you'll see them. You'll know they're in there. Here, though, you miss it. Somehow you miss him. Let's see how you missed him. Okay, it just barely skirted below him. So that's just... It missed him, so you think you're good, right? So you keep walking into it. If you throw the W, you're not missing that. You're not missing that. And what's in good, man? You're holding on to your ultimate. For no reason at all. For no reason at all. Alright, so you guys stole the Baron and you're going to win this fight. What I want you to know, and this is going to sound really, really harsh, but you did not deserve this, honestly. You did not deserve this outcome. You didn't earn it. You actually made some really terrible mistakes leading up to the Baron. Maybe even the most worrying mistake is that you didn't ever even call the Baron. You let the other team start the Baron. But yeah, man, getting picked here could have really cost you. It turned out okay, but I say this a lot, I know, but just because something turns out fine doesn't mean that it's like you did well. So that sounds really harsh, and but I want you to get better, dude, because that was like a series of really bad mistakes. I also would have bought the stopwatch portion first before I bought the Seeker's Arm Guard. It's much more valuable on you than a Seeker's Arm Guard. So once again, you're walking through the forest completely alone. Team is nowhere in a place where they could react if you got caught. This is a really just bad habit, and I know I'm hammering that in, but you're doing it so many times that it's hard not to. So at this point, you guys are probably just going to group 5 and run it down. You'll probably get a pick. Here's the pick that'll probably allow you to lose the game. Okay, patience though. Patience on that Q, man. If you just wait for your point and click, there's no way Yasuo gets out of here, right? I mean, you guys are like all around him. If you just wait for your point and click. Wait here. That's plenty of time. Look how long that taunt lasts. That's plenty of time to land your point to land your skill shot. Yep. So you're just running it down at this point. It's good. Oh, nice Q, man. You do land some nice Qs. Yo, I don't know why you're playing so scared there, actually. You guys win this fight 100%. They don't even have a Yasuo. The black shield's good, but hey, don't flash away here. Flash in. You got a nice 4-man ult if you flash ulti here. Pop your stopwatch. So here's what you do. You flash in, press R, tank about 1 second of damage, not too much. They don't have really anything that's gonna like mega burst you like instantly. Then pop your stopwatch. Your ult still goes off through the stopwatch. I'm sure you know that. But yeah, don't flash out here. Flash in. Flash in. Land. Make them back up and break the soul shackles, or make them eat the stun. You guys definitely win this fight. Yeah, dude, you didn't even use your ulti, man. You didn't even use it. Use your ult, bro. You gotta use your ult, dude. You gotta use your ults. It's weird because you're actually so good with the Qs, and you're not making good use out of your ultimate at all. And sometimes you're not even using it. It's kind of weird, dude. But yeah. So this is the end of the game, obviously. One thing I really want to emphasize one last time is you've got to stop walking into their jungle. Like I said, I'm a player that loves roams. I respect roams. Think it's a great part of the game. But you are going to get killed a lot as you climb if you continue doing that. Get better with holding onto your Qs and waiting for someone else to hard CC them, especially when you got point and clicker like Ramus. You definitely need to learn how to more efficiently use your ultimate. You're holding on to it too long, you're not using it at all, things like that. But overall, I would also look at changing up your runes, popping on that Nimbus Cloak, and changing up your build a bit. Changing up the things that you prioritize. Ardent is not something I would have prioritized this game. Probably wouldn't have prioritized getting tier 3. I would have prioritized Stopwatch over Seeker's Arm Guard first. Boots of mobility, that comes down to display style. You do roam a lot, so the boots and mobies are, you know, that's inherent to those play styles, but you're not roaming very well. You need to roam. You need to learn how and when to roam. And I do have a good video on that on YouTube if you want to check that out, and I'll link it in the comments. But guys, let me know what you think about this coaching session. I hope that it helped you. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.